What's up, guys? Welcome to the BroTech Gaming podcast. This isn't actually going to be a podcast, but what we are going to be talking about is episode one so far of The Last of Us. I'm Sean.
What's up, guys? I'm Carlos.
So yeah, we just got done watching episode one, Last of Us. Definitely a lot of stuff that me and Carlos want to get into. So we got like a few topics that we want to start. But like first and foremost, Carlos, did you like the episode?
I love the episode. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good too. Dude, like I was getting choked up, man, because like when the show started and then the credits started rolling and you heard like the music, the Last of Us music, I was like, dude, like this is hitting me right now. It hit me hard.
Yeah, definitely, man. We are gonna have spoilers, so this is not gonna be a spoiler-free breakdown review from us.
Yeah, I mean, we basically like we're talking about like everything that we liked about the episode and stuff that happens in the episode. So, for those of you guys that have not seen episode one yet, we advise you not to watch this upload yet until you guys have watched the episode. So with that being said, let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. So, I'll say firsthand the intro to the show. It was basically exactly like the game. Well, not exactly. They actually added a lot of stuff to it, which I really liked.
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked it too. They told a lot more sort of like backstory, things like basically they took you through Sarah's whole day, like going to school and like meeting with the neighbors and stuff like that, and you didn't really get any of that from the game. So I like that they did that because they wanted you to have a little bit more of a connection with Sarah before what happened to her.
Yeah, definitely. And from what I remember from the game is that Joel wasn't home when she woke up, and it kind of explains where he was when she wakes up, and like she goes outside, and then like he tells her to get inside the car. I really like that they filled that in because it was like I don't remember that being an issue for me, but now that I watched the show, it kind of is an issue for me for the game. But I'm glad they filled us in on that part. That was really good on that.
Well, I remember in the game, so like you basically play as Sarah for the beginning of the game, and they show the scene where Sarah gives him the watch. It's his birthday, and then he takes off. I don't remember why he took off. It was like in the show, it was because Tommy was in jail, and then Joel had to go pick him up. But I remember in the game, like by the time Joel shows up, they're actually like in the basement of their house, and then like the neighbor comes like crashing through their like patio door that's in their downstairs basement, and then that was like one of the first encounters they have with an infected person. So they kind of stretched it out a little bit with like Sarah like exploring outside of the house and going to the neighbor's house. So that was a little different. Everything else was pretty accurate though from the game. Even the dialogue was pretty damn close.
Yeah. So they get into the car. They head towards the freeway. But they have to go through the town first because, or was it after? Can't really remember.
I just remember them going through the town, like in general, like in the game, they were going through the town.
Yeah. So in the show, they have the airplane that crashes right down the street, right down like
Yeah.
Main Street, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that pretty much takes out Sarah. I guess her ankle gets messed up, and Joel has to carry her.
Yeah.
And then they encounter the soldier that he
Yep.
gets orders to kill them, and Tommy saves them.
hmm
Well, he saves Joel, not really Sarah.
Yeah, but like the way the scene played out was pretty accurate to the game, and like I told Michelle, like I already knew, I already knew what was coming, but it still hit me, man. Like I still got choked up. I still felt emotional about it, even though I already knew what was gonna happen. But it's just like it already shows that they're doing such a good job having you care about all the characters, and like the narrative of the show just feels like it's supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So do you feel like the show got overhyped, or do you feel like it met the demands, or not the demands, but like kind of? So there's been a lot of streaming outlets like YouTubers that have already put out reviews for it. I guess they got to see it early, and pretty much the
Yeah.
whole season too. So we're gonna be watching it every Sunday night with you guys, and then we'll be on here afterwards. But do you feel like it really hit home? Do you feel like it hit a home run with that first episode?
Feel like it did. To me, it's still not like it's not on the same level as the game. Like for me, the game is a 10 out of 10. I think in the total episode, I'd still probably give it like maybe like an 8.5. I would give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I definitely think that the show was like super hyped just because because HBO is trying to get like a viewer base in there. But with that being said, like I think that the hype is real. Like I think the show deserves the hype. Um, the fact that they carried it in like 80 minutes long, they got pretty far like into the story. That feels pretty good where it's at. Like I think they set it up pretty good. I think I would have liked to see more of like how they're running in their society. Like they have like this whole currency system and is futurist like as post-apocalyptic as it feels. I almost want them to be a little bit more dirty. Like almost they're not dirty enough for me. Uh like the dude in the episode that screwed him over with the battery. The like little gang that was like beating up on Tess in the episode. Like
Hmm.
the dude's jacket was like a beige jacket and it just looked fresh, like like recently laundered. And like I think he'd be a little bit more grimy looking than that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like my only gripe right now for making it feel like almost perfect for the setting is um I want him to look a little bit more dirty, like I want him to look a little bit more desperate. Because I feel like in the game it felt very desperate in the game.
Yeah, totally understand that. Okay, so yeah, so you say you gave it about an 8.5 out of 10.
I think I gave it an 8.5. Just like overall, like it had ups and downs. There were some scenes, like some dialogue that I felt like didn't fit quite as well. But I mean, overall, I still think it's pretty good. And like we're converting an action game into just strictly storyline. So like from the part where the game begin or when the show begins and where it ends, you already have like what like three encounters in the game that's just like an all out, like shootout and stuff like that. So obviously there's, they had to cut some of that stuff out to drive the story. But you didn't really get to see a lot of action. You didn't really get to see how capable Joel is, except for when he like beats the shit out of that like guard at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But we're not really. I don't really get a feel for like the overall um like seriousness of the situation that they're in from watching the show. And it's probably because I'm a little biased from I already know a lot of it from the game, but I feel like they could have maybe added a little bit more to that in the story.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
how do you feel about like all the actors that were cast and how true they are to the characters in the game so far? Like mostly the main characters.
Well, when it started off, you know how Joel was talking about like he didn't know he had never heard about that country, and then the daughter like went in and said it was like, oh, it was like a capital of like Indonesia or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, but I kind of got like a redneck feeling from it. Like they're kind of like low key like
I mean, they're from
racist.
Texas.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't know. That was just the vibes I got from just that scene. I was just like, he's kind of racist over here.
Okay.
But after that, I mean, I didn't really worry too much about that because it's whatever. Because Joel's pretty much a different character from when he loses his daughter to when he hooks up, not hooks up, but like when he gets involved with Ellie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I felt like Pedro Pascal did a really good job on the first episode as Joel. Ellie, I feel like she still has to try to win me over because like all I'm getting out of her is just a lot of cuss words and like bad attitude.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, she's wearing the same outfit. She got the chucks. She got that baseball shirt on.
Yeah.
She has the attitude, and like from what I remember, like Ellie as a kid, she had a little bit of attitude, but not as much as the character or the actor is giving off. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's the first episode, so I'm sure her character is gonna go through a lot of changes.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure too that I mean, they said that when Bella was cast, like they didn't really want her watching gameplay or playing the game because they didn't want Ellie's character in the game to sort of overpower her character in the show. Like Neil Druckmann basically like wanted Bella or not, yeah, Bella Ramsey to be like her own version of Ellie. So there's probably like a lot of directorial decisions there on how she's developed, but I thought overall she was okay. Like I saw some like sparks of like real emotion there. Like she looks like such a like a baby face to me. Like I almost want to see more emotion out of her because I feel like the game you see so many different like emotions from Ellie in the game, and I haven't seen a lot of that from Bella Ramsey just yet. But I think there is still some like good scenes, good moments there. Like when she's talking to Marlene and she's asking Marlene like, "Why won't you let me go?" And like you can kind of like see like some sadness there. Um, when Ellie has her first run in with Joel and he's like stepping on her knife and like she's just like sitting there, like I thought that was okay, pretty cool too. So I see like sparks of it so far. But I like Pedro Pascal so far as Joel, like very believable. Like I don't think of him as like him playing like a character from a game. Like I feel like he it suits him. His attitude suits him. So
Yeah. So I feel like I would give it probably about like a 9 out of 10.
mm,
Just based on, okay, so what they did change from the game to the show is that they're not going to be dealing with the spores anymore.
yeah,
So that scene where Joel and Tessa are going through the apartment buildings in the game, they have to wear their masks because it was like heavily filled with spores, and they couldn't get through unless they wore the spores. And if they didn't wear the spores, then you get infected.
yeah,
So I think the producer, the director came out and said that they weren't going to be dealing with spores in the show.
yeah. They're calling it tendrils now. So it's basically it's like physical contact. Like if you make physical contact with anything that's infected, that's how it's going to affect you. So I think, I mean, I don't have a problem with that because to me, it's like, like like zombies. Like you're not gonna get infected by being in the same space as zombies. So there's probably some like decisions they made just to make it easier for them to film and easier for the world to be more believable. Um, so I mean, I can kind of understand that. So I don't have a problem with that so far.
Yeah,
It'll just
definitely.
be a classic case of like if you find like a clicker or something like that, just don't let him like, like cut you or scratch you or stuff like that, like zombies are. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So we do know that Ellie is infected. She did show the bite on her arm that was already scarred up, so she's already so they know that she's infected, and they pretty much know that she's the cure. They didn't outright say it, but it's kind of like what they're hinting at.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, we already know too, so it's hard. Like I'm kind of curious what somebody else's thoughts would be on the episode, never playing the game before, if they're kind of getting like the scope of what they're doing. Because everything they're pretty accurate to the game, so I was obviously for stuff like for us everything's pretty predictable. um like when they're scanning, when the guard is scanning the three of them outside, like we know that like Ellie's going to turn red. We know that there's a concern because she is infected even though she's not turning. So I'm curious if like everybody else is sort of catching on to that so far.
Yeah. So once they leave the gate, you see the lightning kind of show the outline of the city, how the building is kind of like knocked over to the other one.
Yeah,
And we do play that in the game, so kind of already know what's coming in the next episode.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm
Kind of
so
curious. I'm kind of curious how that's going to be because it made it seem like Joel and Tess are a lot closer in the show than they are in the game because they're almost like intimate with each other in the show, and I don't really remember them being that close in the game. I just remember them being like partners basically, and
yeah.
they're basically like they're smuggling together, like they're in on it together. And I don't remember if Joel's motivation is to get Tommy, like they're trying to find Tommy. I don't remember if that was in the game as well. if that was his like driving factor. So I
I
got to look into that again.
Yeah, I remember Tommy not being there, but I think he was looking for Tommy, and Tommy showed up at a certain place later in the game.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was.
want to say because it might be spoilery for the next couple episodes where they find him at.
Yeah,
But yeah, there was something else I wanted to add. Nah, I can't remember.
I mean, overall though, I'm like super excited for the next episode. I know the next episode is going to be a lot shorter, which is cool. I kind of like how the length of the episodes are so different from one another because it almost makes it like if you're playing the game, there are certain parts of the game that are going to take a little bit longer than others before you like stop and like save or something. And that's kind of like how it feels. Like I feel like I reached like a save point in the show and I'm just going to like continue on to the next chapter because they probably could have like divvied that up into like two different episodes if they wanted to. Like they could have had like the first half of the episode being up to like where Sarah gets killed, and then they could have had the second episode where like Joel wakes up in his apartment like 25 years later. So I feel like they kind of did give us two episodes. But I'm glad that they're being like so diversive with all the run times for each one.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited for next week's episode.
Same. Same.
And yeah, so I don't really have anything else to add. Do you have anything else you want to add to it?
No, not really. I mean, we're still in the pretty early phases of the show, as far as how deep into the story it is. So obviously, we're gonna have a lot more opinions coming up on future episodes. But from what they've shown us so far, from like from the beginning and where they're at in the show, like I'm super satisfied. Like I'm very happy with the production quality of the show, the feel of the show. Um, they got the same composer from the video games to do like original music for the show as well. So it feels exactly like The Last of Us feels, from a live action standpoint. So I'm super hyped for the next episode and the rest of the season.
Nice. I'm super excited to see a clicker.
Yeah, me too.
I
We haven't
want
even seen like the dangerous parts yet.
Yeah, I want to see one in action. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm still ready for them to craft Molotov cocktails out of their backpacks. That's how I know it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on how that's gonna be. I mean,
Yeah.
I doubt that they're gonna stay away from like the crafting and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously not, but they got to craft something. Like they'll be in a desperate situation and they'll have to like figure something out to get out of that situation. So,
Yeah,
I like like the fear that the show's imposing on you so far. Like it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. And then like the grandma in the background when like Sarah's looking at the DVDs and she starts doing her like
yeah,
thing back, we're just like, oh hell no, like this is crazy. That was not in the game. So I like the things that they're doing so far.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it did have like a Dawn of the Dead kind of feeling towards in the beginning
Yeah,
when she was in the
yeah,
house.
a little bit. Yeah, very very well filmed so far. I think I like it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I feel like that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Just quick and simple. You'll catch us here next week. Next Sunday, we're
Yeah,
gonna upload another one
yeah.
and tell us.
Please subscribe to us, guys. You know we will be putting these out every Sunday, after each episode. So if you want to, jump in and lay some comments down, on the YouTube channel, like please do. Please join us every Sunday, and looking forward to seeing some of your guys' comments and some of your thoughts on the episodes as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know how you guys felt about the episode and if you guys are gonna keep watching and what you're looking forward to in the next episode.
Cool.
All right, man. So I'm Carlos.
And I'm Sean, guys. Thank you for joining us on this super short, special edition of the BroTech Gaming Podcast. And we will catch you guys next Sunday and after episode 2 of The Last of Us.
Yes. Good night, guys. Take care.
All right, guys. Thank you.